John Dennis here with Spider Lake Association in Nevis, Minnesota. We're dealing with some invasive species here. This is purple loosestrife, as opposed to the native loosestrife. This has, as you can see, leaves that are directly opposite. This time of year, which is August to September, it's starting to flower. Sometimes it'll flower early, but then it starts to go to seed. And each one of these plants produces over 2.5 million seeds. So as a consequence, this will spread considerably as it has here. This is an area about 10 feet by 100 feet, which has been attended to before, but is continuing to come back. So what I'm going to show today is just a little invention, a little variation on trying to remove these. There are three ways to remove them. One is physically removing them. And when you go to take these out, the roots are very deep. And so they're quite hard to get out. And this is basically a wetland. So the roots are very entwined with everything else. So it's very difficult. You can cut them off. Of course, they will grow back, but that does help to decrease the viability of the plants and decreases the number of seeds. There are herbicides, which we prefer not to use, and there are also biologic means, beetles which can eat the plants. However, you have to have a much bigger area for that to be viable. So let me show you the little invention, a little nuance, which seems to help a bit with pulling up some of these very heavy root balls. So to do this, you really need a winch. This is a smaller one, which I have hooked up to an auxiliary battery and put into the hitch of the truck. Ideally, it has a remote control, which is wireless because you will be quite a distance from the winch. Sometimes having another person there can be helpful, but the wireless control makes a lot of difference. The little nuance here is conglomerations of things. These are old tongs for removing brush that I inherited from my father, and the chain attaches to the top, and when they pull together, it pulls the points together. So this helps to hook into the roots. And then the little advancement that I made is this addition of a screw type stake, same kind you can use for a dog run. And so the way this works is to screw this into the root ball and then hook these two tongs in next to it. And this seems to give enough traction. I've been able to pull out some of these balls here of roots, which I could not begin to budge otherwise. Now, to show how this works, I have screwed in the stake up above to the far side of the root ball on this plant, and then I have attached the tongs and made sure they're in there, and giving a good tug to make sure that it really pulls well is important. Also of note that the chain is wrapped around the fulcrum here, around the hinge, and then as this pulls through there, it tightens the grip on the tongs so they don't tend to slip out. So let's see how this goes. We'll give it a try. And you have to be careful not to get in the way and not to get stuck in them. And there you go. A couple other points with trying to use this mechanical removal. Timing is of the essence. As you can see, these are flowering, and these at this point mostly do not have seeds, but some of them in this patch are starting to have seeds. And so the more the plant is shaken, the more the seeds will be dispersed. So timing is very important. You'll notice I've got it wrapped in a tarp, and this should not be transported without being protected from dissemination of the seeds with travel. So we wrap it up very tightly on the tarp, and then disposal is very important too. Currently we bag it and dispose of it in the local trash center, which is what's recommended by our DNR at this point. So please indicate if you like this and make any comments below. Thank you for your attention.